Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the SSE Show, sponsored by the Ashmore Law Firm, which is impressive that a law firm would sponsor a growing your business, Jeffery Hayzlett. Now, we could talk all day about your accomplishments, but then we only got 15 minutes, and then we wouldn't be able to talk to you because
we wouldn't have time for questions. We don't want that.
You're a renowned author, C-suite television host, business expert. What are you so excited to do all this stuff, and what do you love about business? Why do you love it so much?
Well, I love business. I mean, we get a chance to be able to take names and do a lot of business, which makes things happen. Which is the most important thing is about building wealth. I think is one of the things that I live by. I got to have fun. I got to learn new things, but more importantly, I have to build wealth for my family. That's how we keep score. So I love business because I get to do all those things.
And you obviously are a renowned author. You got a new book coming out. Think big, act bigger. The Rewards of Being Relentless. What is this book about?
There's the book right there. That's a new cover. It comes out on September the 8th. You'll be able to see that in all the airport bookstores, Barnes & Nobles, Amazon. And we just got the new Audible book on tape. But it's all about being relentless. You know, so many times we get in stories about business. We can't do this. We don't have a budget. My dog ate my homework, whatever it is. You know, we always hear about these things. You know, it's not the lucky who are successful, it's the relentless. So it's about what you have to do to get your mindset about making business happen for you every single day. And, you know, it's hard work, and it's called hard work because it is hard work. And so it's really to get your mindset around you can do anything you want to do, just get out of the stories and get out of your own way to be successful.
And then why is that so hard then for other companies to do that?
Well, you know, there's so many things that are stacked up against us. You know, hey, we tried that once before. You know, we did that before. It didn't work. You know, there's all these different things, rules, regulations, and so forth. You have to get single-minded focus around the things that you want to have accomplished and where we're going to go. And sometimes that means, and I even explain this in the book, sometimes a leader in the business has to be a little irrational. What I mean by that, they have to be a little crazy. You know, where you say, hey, we're going to go from this point to this point, but you really tell everybody you're going to go way over here. Why? Because you've got to drag them to get to that point. And that's where sometimes when you look at some of our leaders, they say they're irrational. He's freaking nuts. He's crazy. Well, because he or she knows they've got to be able to push a little further, to cause some tension to get you there. You know, there's a saying in sports, no pain, no gain. And we need tension in business in order to be successful.
Awesome. Okay, so then what companies do you think in your book that you've written about, who's been the most successful at it, and why do you think and what kind of stories do you have about them?
Well, there's lots of those examples. In fact, I went and talked to a number of CEOs, CFOs, CMOs, because we lead the C-suite network. And so I've got a lot of, you know, concrete examples from companies, quite frankly, you've never really heard of. I'm sure, you know, we all know about Apple. We all know about other companies. But what about companies like Sir Speedy, who I'm going to go see tomorrow? Sir Speedy is a printing franchise. Printing. Nobody's printing anymore. Most people think it's gone away. Well, it's not. And how have they reinvented themselves? How have they done different things? How about Domino's, for instance? They used to have a product that they actually advertised on television that it sucks so bad, you know, that our pizza sucks. And what did they do to reinvent that? How did they do it? And how did they raise their hand finally in the meeting and say, you know, we suck so bad we should advertise about it? And then what they had to do to change that. And then look at Dunkin' Donuts, another great example of where a company has done it. Or even Cadillac. Cadillac was a bankrupt company in a bankrupt city. And they said, we have to move. When they moved to New York in order to be a luxury brand, because it's difficult to be a luxury brand in a city that's like that. Now, it's not putting anything against Detroit. Love Detroit. But, you know, they rode their audience to death, literally. And they had to reinvent themselves and be more than what our grandfathers or grandmothers or dads or mothers Cadillac. They're brand new Cadillac. They're a brand new company.
Okay, so here's Lori Ashmore. You have a question here.
I do, and thank you so much for joining us today. Would you say that the business strategies that may be in your book or that you've talked to other businesses about, I mean, is that something that can be applied to just a small family-owned boutique law firm?
Absolutely. Not just a law firm, any business. Look, I've been a Fortune 100 officer. I've been an officer at the most elite of elite, but there's only 500 corporate officers in the world that's in that club. And I've also run small businesses. I bought and sold over 250 businesses in my career, ran companies, $25 billion, you know, sold companies. But let me tell you something. There's no difference between a business on Main Street in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and a business on Wall Street. The only difference is the numbers of zeros. It's the same principles, the same kinds of things that you have to do. It's just a different scale. And that's what you got to learn, and that's what you have to find out. By the way, the people that run your law firm or run a dry cleaning, those people are no different than the folks that are running Fortune 100 companies. They put their pants on the same way. They're just as much inspirational. They're just as much as stupid as the guy next to us, right? And as smart as the guys next to us or gals next to us. And so what you find is, I've been in those meetings, and I've been looking around going, geez, this thing is screwed up. Somebody should do something. And then I look in the mirror, hey, it's me. And that's what we need to learn. And so don't be intimidated. As a small business owner, don't be intimidated by these big guys or big gals that are running these multinational corporations. They're the same people that you went to high school with. You didn't like them. So you want to learn those lessons.
So what's the biggest obstacle for businesses that historically you've seen that is there usually a simple thing that is, or is it a bunch of different things, or what could you point out?
Yeah, the biggest thing I'd tell you is look in the mirror. That's what's holding you back. Great example. The very first story in this book is something I call the Caitlin rule. Caitlin rule. Caitlin's a young gal that was working for us. She came to me about 5 minutes before we needed to leave to go meet with a company that we're about to take public. And so we're going to go up to Grand Central Station, meet with this company that we're about to take public. And she says to me, Jeff, should we take color copies of the presentation? I said, Caitlin, I turned to her. She was standing right next to my desk. I said, turn to her. I said, Caitlin, you're new here. So you probably don't know. You've only been with us a week. But let me just tell you right now, as a new person, you get 21 questions. That's all you get to ask me. You can ask me any 21 questions that you want to in a month. You can ask me about what's the weather like? What's the best Italian restaurant? Does this dress make my butt look big? You can ask me, is my boyfriend the right kind of guy for me? You can ask me anything you want. The meaning of life, is that one of your 21 questions? And she said, probably not. I said, good answer. Good career move. Because if I have to answer that question, what do I need you for?
Right. Okay.
And your job is to hit the mark. Your job is to proceed, and that's my job. Your job as a leader is to hit a mark, and everyone's supposed to be doing those things. And I turned to her and I said, by the way, do you have enough time to make color copies? And she goes, no. I said, don't ever ask me another question like that again. And I'm not trying to be mean or rude, but we all have roles that we need to play. Play them. No one's telling you can't do it. What happens if you had made color copies? Am I going to yell at you for that? Are you going to lose your job? Is anyone going to die? No one's going to die. So, the things that get in our way of succeeding, it's usually staring right back at you in the mirror.
Well, we're about 6 questions, so I guess I only got about 15 left, because I know I got 21 here with you. A little bit nerdy. Okay, so you talked a lot about the book. You also do a thing, C-suite television. That's really fascinating to me. I think that's a great concept, by the way. I saw you speak about it. Tell me what you like about that, and it's so interesting that you get to talk to all these thought leaders.
Oh, man, I've got a podcast on CBS, and then I played out it, and I've also got this television show, The C-Suite. And so what we do is I sit down and take people into the C-Suite where 99% of the people who belong at the company never get to go. And we have conversations, and we peel back the business. What works, what doesn't work? What do you like, what don't you like? What was the best hire you ever made? What was the worst hire you ever made? Why didn't you act faster? Why did you act too fast? And so we just have great conversations. And as you know, I ask anything.
You do? You're direct.
Yeah, I'm very direct. And and when they're starting to give me bullshit, I go right after them because I don't like that. I want to know the real answers. And so I try to peel it back. And one, because I've been there before. So I know when they're starting to sugarcoat it a little bit. When they start sugarcoating it, that's when I drill in a little more. It's a hard job, and what we want to know is the real thing. And so that's what the show's about. So you can tune into csuitetv.com, and you can see all of our shows. They're online. We have millions of people who watch us online, and it's just absolutely fabulous.
How did you get in this position where you become so famous and you're doing all this stuff? You're on with us.
Look at me. This is eye candy. Are you kidding me? This is a face that was paid for television and video. I don't know how. My first big break was I was a judge on Celebrity Apprentice, and that led to a lot of different things without question. My bigger breaks was back earlier in my career, and I moved my way up to CMO of Kodak. But I don't know. I just do it, and I don't. Every day I just pinch myself and go, I can't believe they pay me money for this. And but I try to make it fun, and I try to make it interesting. I told you 3 things, that I think you got to have. You got to build wealth, you got to have fun, you got to learn things, and that's what I try to do every day. So even in the interviews, I try to learn new things, and I have great conversations with great people. I've had Steve Forbes on the show. I've had Gene Simmons on the show. I've had Kevin Jonas on the show. I've had Piers Morgan on the show, which by the way we won an award for because it was so interesting. I talked to him about gun control, why he got fired, and the fact that I didn't believe in half the stuff he says, but at least I respect him for saying it. So, a lot of fun.
How is okay? So now we're on a Google Plus Hangout. You're on Twitter. You're very active in social media. How can businesses leverage social media to make money and to do things? And do you think this is not something a flash in the pan? This is something that's really hot right now.
This is not only hot right now; it's hot in the future. This is where the people are. Sam Kinison once said to starving people who are living in the desert, move out of the desert, move to where the food is. For a business, Forbes magazine said to name me the #2 person in the world for social selling. I've sold hundreds of millions of dollars of products and services over Twitter and Facebook. And it is where the people are. So you go to where they're at. We forced companies forced people for many years down these sadistic holes of 800 telephone trees, which we all hate, and telling people that we're only open from 8 to 5 from Central Time. And people said, that's ridiculous. Why can't I reach you when I want to reach you on my terms? And that's what social media has allowed us to do. So it's about 4 things. It's about engagement. I call them the 4 E's. It's about engagement. Get engaged where the people are and with your community. Second, educate. Educate them, and they educate you. They tell you what they want. They tell you how they want you to give it to them. And then what happens, people get excited. When they get excited, they become the 4th E, which is evangelism. They become brand ambassadors. And that's what every business wants. So here's my rule for anyone that's thinking about your business and whether or not you're on social media, you have to be a freaking idiot to not be on social media and be active with your customers, because that's where they're at.
I've been preaching that forever. Yes,
now
yes.
On social media.
Yeah, that's what I've been talking about for how long now?
I know.
I left television to do social media in 2007, okay, Jeffrey? My friends thought I was an idiot. They said, why would you leave Fox Sports Network to get on social media and create your own social media company? I think something's going to happen here.
Not only is it going to happen, I just got through having a conversation not more than 5 minutes ago, right over there with another executive, and we were talking about your community is your broadcast network. So for a guy like, and I'm telling people, the bigger your community is, the bigger your audience. The second or third show in, I was a primetime host on Bloomberg. Primetime. I had the #1 business show in the world. #1 business show in the world. And the third show in, we actually started seeing more people watching us online than were watching our broadcast.
Wow.
Game, set, match. I said right then, I turned to my partner, I said, get us off of broadcast, get us online. Get us to where the people are, because this is the most personal device there is in the world. This device or your iPad or whatever you might be carrying. You know where this is more than you know where your children are. And so that's where I need to be on that. I need to be on this, because if I'm in this, I'm with you all the time. You can't get away from me. You can't get away from
that's a little scary. That's a little scary. Okay, we're going to open up to the panel. Diana, hello. It's been a while. How are you doing?
I'm great. How about you? Is it a blue moon yet? Come on. It's been like 2 years.
It's been a long time. Do you have a question for Jeffrey?
No, I was just going to say, Jeffrey, my gosh, you are pretty damn entertaining. I got to say that. So props to you.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, that's all I got to say.
That's all she said. That was perfect. That's
okay. We can take more of those. We can take more of those.
I'll tell you.
I get it, because I also get those people who also say I'm full of shit too. So at the same time, I like that.
You can't have them all.
It was actually the other day I was doing a Periscope. I did a Periscope live, and some guy wrote up, "Who's this clown?" I told him to F off right there on the Periscope. They couldn't believe I did that. My staff, I thought, were going to have a heart attack.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sweet. Okay, Laura, you can question.
Well, not a question. I mean, I'm glad to hear you because, for the Ashmore Law Firm, we have been on social media and we're getting more and more out there with social media, with the Google Hangouts, and just everything else out there. So at least we're taking a step in the right direction.
You bet. Well, you go where the people are, and I think that's one of the most important things. There's a lot of people in companies, especially legal and HR, who try to pull people back, okay? That's not the job of legal and HR. The job of legal and HR is to make sure we don't fall off that stage, okay? To make sure we don't cross the line. There's nothing wrong with creating a little bit of tension and being out there. That's what people expect. And by the way, my belief is you also want to sell the individuals in the company as well. Because if you sell the people, you sell the business. Sell the business, you sell the people.
Right.
And that's a real differentiation. So a lot of people are a little worried, if I have these employees and they start to get really well known, well, that's a good thing,
Right.
Yeah, they might leave you someday. Guess what? They probably are, okay? So you find more good people. That's what life's all about. And that gives you newer experiences, and if it wasn't meant to be, it wasn't meant to be. So.
Man, I hit right at that 15-minute mark. I really appreciate your time. You were really interesting. Thank you so much. Ashmore Law Firm, you got to give them kudos. Like you were saying, a lot of legal people don't join social media. Here they are giving their viewers, you and other people, thought leaders. I think that's a brilliant thing. They're not just talking about legal advice here. They're actually informing people. So kudos to y'all.
Which is awesome, because usually I don't like law firms, but I'm liking you, and I'm liking the fact that you're doing this, which is good.
Thank you.
Awesome, Jeffrey. Hey, congratulations on all your success. We look forward to seeing all your shows. And the new book, one last plug, baby.
Yeah, think big, act bigger. The rewards of being relentless. You can be relentless, be successful. Think big, act bigger. So go for it, man.
Awesome.
Thank you.
We'll be relentless. Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.